Hello and welcome to India Today. This is Hesha and I'm in conversation with Pratik Gandhi. What's up?
Absolutely good, excited, and happy to be here.
Are you like drained already with a packed day with meeting all of us?
No. In fact, after each and every interview, I learn a lot.
Oh, really? Now I'm going to ask you that only. What is it that you pick after interviews that you do?
See, and like when your interviews are lined up in a day, back to back, and maybe on the same topic, what you learn is that how to articulate the same answer every time.
Matlab active to passive, passive to active. Lovely. Great. Pratik, what I want to start off by asking you is that what role does intuition play when you're picking up either a show, a film, or even when you're, reading scripts for a theatre-led thing?
A huge role, actually. In my case, it's purely on intuition that I decide to do something. And in the field of art, I guess every artist would do the same, because there are a lot of things that we can't describe. Why did we do it, or why didn't we do it?
Yeah.
There are a lot of times that it might put right tick on all the checks, but still you don't feel like doing it.
Oh, is it? So
Yeah.
you're not somebody who's like really planned, or you think that this is how I'm going to do, or you just like read something excites you, your gut says yes, and you go with the
There are a
flow.
lot of time because mostly I'm driven by that gut feel, and that gut feel is also, if you realize that way, it doesn't come just like that. It comes with years of experience of reading stories, talking to people, understanding their point of view, and that's when you decide something in a fraction of a second, I guess.
Why I want to ask you this question, what I'm going to ask you next is because everybody who I've spoken to who's been a part of theatre, always some or the other way, I have personally felt that they have an edge as far as choosing roles is concerned, B, the kind of roles that they're offered, and C, how they deliver it. For Crimes Aajkal also, before this we had Vikrant Messe and he's done theatre too, and now obviously you're doing it. Do you also feel that edge, whether it is you hosting a show, whether it is acting, whether it is delivering, because you'll have that emotional connect so strong, that nerve of cracking things becomes slightly easier?
I think yes, and that theatre experience helps immensely in something like this, because in Crimes Aajkal, that I am playing an anchor.
Yeah.
So I become a link between the audience and the story, and there are a lot of things that I am directly talking to the audience. Now, how do I get the same emotion and then reach out to the audience without breaking their link with the story, without priming them completely, yet leading them to that particular emotion and then leaving there. So I guess these things can happen if you have practiced these things a lot, touching those emotions, and theatre gives you this experience.
Yeah, also that emotional intelligence.
That emotional intelligence, where you understand that if it is done this way, a little tweaking here will enlarge the whole emotion and translate it for the audience. Now, as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to put correct words to what I feel, what I want to say, but I'm still feeling that I can never be, I'll never be able to put it in words 100%. What I do actually in these kind of situations. Having said that, I have done a lot of shows as anchors also in theatre.
Yeah.
And on live shows. So that also helps.
But mujhe batao, when there is a show like this, which is hardened out completely like based on crime, right? And at the same time, your job is to pretty much, as you rightly said, build that connect between A, the story, and B, obviously people watching you. From this particular season, was there any particular story that really moved you and you were just like, I have to change things going, even if this is the role that I play?
Yes, there are a couple of stories that moved me completely, and where I felt that it's not merely telling the story. It's not just being a mediator, but there is something more that I should be doing. I don't want to preach something to people that do this, don't do this, because preaching doesn't work at all. But I want to be that friend. I want to be that person whom somebody wants to connect with and then absorb what he or she is saying. So I guess that's what I've tried doing it. I hope it works out that well with the audience.
But crime se koi pyar hai ka aapka? Because with Scam, you were like a rage. Everybody appreciated your character so much for that. So, like, do you ever feel that maybe after that, when you did that and it was such a success, even for you critically and as well as even audience-wise, that somewhere down the lines you were only approached for those particular things, especially as far as Indian cinema, Hindi cinema is concerned?
So I mean, a lot of my near ones, dear ones told me that be aware of this particular thing, that
Yeah.
you'll be put in a basket
Yeah.
immediately. And I feel I am completely blessed on that part. That never happened with me.
Oh, lovely.
And I kept getting different kind of characters, and I kept doing different diverse roles with diverse stories. And a lot of films are almost ready to release. So yeah, with that I feel I'm blessed.
What's in the pipeline that you can talk about?
So there are a couple of films that I've done are ready to release now, and they'll be announced soon. Apart from that, the next series that I'm doing is Gandhi. So I'm super excited for that.
Was it nerve-wracking?
Yeah, this is big. This is the biggest of my career till now.
Wow, lovely. It's very humble of you to say it though, because आपने एक big दे दिया है पहले. It's just that something more coming out your way with that. Scam obviously was a huge hit, right? And you also have this amazing equation with Hansal ji.
Yeah.
Like for example, Scoop. Everybody who knows you and has spotted you in that brief thing, we were like, "अरे, is this? हमने देखा है?" Like we are hallucinating. Tell me, what impact has he played in your career and your growth? Do you guys discuss stuff, work especially?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a friend, philosopher, guide, whatever you call him. And the kind of a person he is, very approachable, very easy, in real life also and to work with also. So I guess one has to be absolutely lucky to have somebody like this.
And the guiding force and the power always
Yeah,
works, and his
yeah.
content is fab, goes without saying. Pratik, what I also want to ask you is that अब especially अभी जब pan Indian content की हम बात करते हैं, there are different languages that have come in, right? Like South of course is great, people want to go there, that whole transition is also happening from Bollywood all the way down south and vice versa. Similarly, there's some role that Marathi cinema plays and Punjabi and so on and so forth. How do you sort of want to get even the whole Gujarati aspect here coming in? So is there more and more? Because I have seen some content myself, although I'm Punjabi, but I relate to the language. And I feel itna spunk hai, itna funny hai, aur itna like relatable hai, kuch certain pieces, that we can also have a lot of that happening here. So do you see anywhere that transition happening even as far as Gujarati theatres, film or shows are concerned?
I absolutely personally want this transition to happen as fast as possible. And I am doing whatever in my capacity that I can do, because any regional language for that matter, once the biggest issue that happened with mainstream is that mostly regional languages were put in one particular, mostly typecast, that if Gujarati, they'll talk like this, they'll walk like this, they'll be eating like this, and these are the costumes that they'll wear. If Punjabi is this is not how it is. And I actually personally want to change it, and I wish that I can do this. Having said that, I want to bring that authenticity of the culture that I belong to bring to the main table, to bring to the mainstream, and present Gujarati or that culture in a different way to the world.
I think you should do that. And I hope that happens as well, even for Gujarati specifically, because as I said, some of the content pieces which I have consumed, I've personally loved. What I also want to ask you is, in a creative field that you are in yourself, one thing which is very probably normal is that एक तो creative blocks हो सकते हैं, maybe your process gets affected sometimes, or there is some sort of complacency कि थोड़ा lazy हो रहा है. A, do you have such moments? And B, if you do, how do you sort of cope with those things and get back into your creative spunk?
So I guess by God's grace, I haven't come across such moments.
That's great.
Yet. And I also am a firm believer that this is the medium of doing. If you constantly do something, you constantly sharpen your craft, you constantly work on yourself, you constantly work on those emotions that you have to touch upon every day. And so in my case, if I'm constantly doing something that I love, I don't get tired. So ever since in 2016 I've left my corporate job, I never felt that I'm working. I always felt that I'm just enjoying, I'm there, I'm creating something. So I don't see that, creative block or fatigue or burnout or something, because I love this too much. So जब मैं shoot नहीं कर रहा होता हूँ, तब मैं shows करने चला जाता हूँ. I do a lot of theatre also, and theatre is something that keeps me alive, that keeps me going. So yeah, there's this.
Tell me, when you're probably doing a show like this, Crimes Aajkal, right? how do you strike a balance between staying true to your script when there is a narrative that you have to follow, and then sort of just going with the flow and bringing in your own interpretation? Like, does that happen, or you just stick to what's been shared with you?
No, that happens a lot. That happens a lot, because the kind of brief that I've been given, and then when we start shooting, the story that I am, narrating to the audience. So here the director Subbu sir also, he is very open. He has also collaborative approach for this, and in fact there are a lot of things that we've done new. We've tried something while shooting that worked. So I guess audience, and you will see that in this particular series.
One very important discussion becomes, especially when you're dealing with a subject like crime, is that, yeah, sure, we read it in the news, we have our newspapers to look after it, sometimes cinema projection helps, and then of course when we have a show like this, awareness is something which is most important, and I feel a show like that is also trying to bring that. In your capacity, what do you feel is your responsibility on your shoulders when you're a part of a show like this and then delivering it out there?
I guess the responsibility that I feel I have is awareness is the prime thing that we need amongst youngsters especially. And this show and this kind of story, this particular season deals with stories related to youngsters, either as victims or as perpetrators. And mostly all the stories are revolving around them. So the first thing is to make them aware about what is happening with their minds, what is happening with their emotions, what are they feeling right now, and where can it lead to.
Correct.
So I personally felt my role as just a brother, just somebody that you can talk to, who's not here to give you gyan, who's not here to scold you, who's just telling you that this one particular step is a tricky step. A wrong move can ruin the life. So I guess this is a very delicate thing that we are trying to communicate to the audience.
Social crime is also a huge topic. I feel like what's happening is with the younger generation, where everybody's so inclined online. Sure, it has its perks. Come on, we're all online babies. We love it. But it also has massively a side effect as well. What would you want to say to people out there, just so as they use it more effectively?
I think any social media or internet or any digital tool per se is a tool. If used wisely, it can give manifold benefits.
Yeah.
But if it is used as a weapon, it can create massacre.
Yeah.
And even the countries can be wiped out from the globe.
Yeah.
It can go to that extent. So just learn this sensitivity first and then use it is what I want to say.
On a lighter note, tell me, what are you like in your real life? What's your vibe like? If you're not shooting, what are you not between action and cut? We know, we've seen, but what is it otherwise? That is interests that are more close to you. What do you prefer? What content you consume?
So I prefer playing outdoor games a lot.
Oh, fab.
I feel like just jumping, going out, meeting friends is what I like the most.
Listen, even your fashion game on Instagram is upping, huh?
It's that I'm learning. Cool. That's something that I'm learning.
But it's looking very cool. I was seeing, I was like, oh my God, like look at his fashion game. Like, kahan dekhte hain hum? And then suddenly you're like, with your Insta post, it's like, arey, this is a very different man we are seeing altogether. So are you putting thought into that also?
Not me. There are a lot of friends and my brother, and they are very good at it naturally. So I just
pick it up.
Yeah.
Fab. Okay, so I have this fun Tic Tac segment, ahead of you right now. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you like options. You got to choose between this or that, okay? Some tricky ones, so good luck.
Okay, let's see.
All right, okay. The very first one is a genre that you are very closely drawn to. Would it be comedy or would it be crimes?
Comedy.
Fab. We have to see you do that also.
Yeah, that's the reason.
We are putting it out there कि हमें comedy देखना है अभी बस हो गया ये. All right. Theatrical release, OTT or theaters? Pick.
Theatrical release, yeah. Theatrical release.
मजा ही कुछ और है.
मजा है. That adrenaline rush is different.
I love your honesty, by the way. Okay. Are you a man of improvisation or do you thoroughly stick to your script?
I do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depends on the director and the project?
Depends on the director, depends on the project, depends on the scene actually.
Right. Okay. Character-driven roles or plot-driven roles?
plot-driven roles.
Okay. Mainstream cinema or art house cinema?
This is something that is very difficult actually, because anything that works is suddenly becomes mainstream.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If it doesn't work, and if you like it, but it doesn't work for the audience, you tend to name it as art house.
But don't you think this year has changed a lot of the dynamics? Like there's an audience for every kind of content.
Yeah, there is audience for every kind of
Yeah.
content, but something that doesn't earn on box office, people will, and if it's good, people will put a tag of art house. So
That also happens. Quite true. Okay. Theatre or reality TV?
theatre.
Okay. In-person interviews or Zoom interviews?
In-person interviews,
अब भी
obviously.
कुछ और भी होगा तो भी you will have to say in-person.
In-person interview, yeah.
Because we are sitting over here. Okay, very fun this is, okay? High-end fashion or street fashion?
Street fashion.
Listen, we are seeing your pictures. I think you're doing a mix
That's for
of
the
both.
photographs.
Acha, that's all
In
for the
real
gram.
life, who has that?
You want to be chill.
Yeah, I want to be chill. If I'm given one pair of jeans and t-shirt, I'm done.
Fab. This was good. You were quite rapid and I like how you were so tic-tacky about my segment. But Pratik, thank you so much. I'm glad we got to chat today and I hope I get to chat with you more for Gandhi and everything else that you do. Looking forward to Crimes Aajkal as well, season 2 on Amazon Mini TV.
Thank
so
you.
all the very best and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you so
talking to you.
much.